Welcome back to the World of Book Reviews on WCOBM Television. And those of you who are joining us live tonight, thank you for being with us. And if you're not joining us live, or if you know someone who didn't get a chance to join us live, you can catch our show, akexpertstv.com. So just go to World of Books at akexpertstv.com. And tonight, I'm Judy Morio, by the way, and I'm the host this evening. And tonight, my special guest is Joan Peck. And Joan is the author of this book, Prime Threat, Shattering the Power of Addiction. And we know that in this day and age, addiction is a major problem. And Joan wrote this with her book. Oh, my mouth isn't working right. Sorry. Joan wrote this book with her son, Jay. And so I'm just going to ask Joan to tell us about the book and tell you about the book, and we'll get started, and then I'll be asking her some questions as well. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in.
Okay, so this book, what's interesting about it is it's written with my son, who passed away in Christmas time, 2005.
2005, I think.
Isn't
it was.
That, yes, 2005. I should know, right? But I never remember dates that I don't like, which is interesting.
Yes.
And that's always been me all my life. Anyhow, it's written with him, and probably the most exciting thing about the book is I have a chance to ask him all the questions that I wanted to know. How did this get started? Did he bring this addiction in from previous lifetimes? And what he really opened the door for me is to explain more and more what energy is. And how, we all have energy. Everything is energy. Energy never dies, never goes away. It can transform, of course. And an easy example of that would be water to rain or ice, yes, or whatever. You can definitely see that. Well, the same thing happens spiritually. Your body isn't here, but the energy of who you are always lives on. So it's very interesting when people ask me, well, how do you get to that point? What do you mean you're talking with your son? And how do you channel? And it's just being in a different state of mind. It's letting your mind kind of flow. We are in linear time, and when you are channeling in, you're just kind of getting away from that and begin to listen to yourself and what information is given to you. So this book is not a boo-hoo sad book. It is a very intriguing book. You'll either like it or you won't, because it's giving you information that can make people uncomfortable. For those that it doesn't, it's very exciting.
Well, I read the book, and I happen to like it very, very much. And what I liked about it, too, was it explained so much about the different addictions, that there's not just addiction to drugs, but there's addictions to many other things as well. Yeah. For instance, I know for sure I'm addicted to food.
Yes.
I love food, and sometimes I can't stop. I get started on a particular thing, and I just keep eating it forever. Like my friend can eat a chocolate bar, one bite every day for a month. Not me. I have that one bite. I want the whole chocolate bar, right? So I think the book is very intriguing. It's very haunting. I think some people might think you're a little woo-woo that you are talking with your son who's on the other side. And do you get that kind of resistance from people?
A little bit, but more than that, I have been surprised by how many people it's helped. It was interesting. I told this story to Amy not too long ago. There was a young gentleman that I met, and he actually was coming down from a high, and he wanted to read the book. And when he read parts of it, he said, yep, this is exactly it. This is exactly how I felt. This is exactly how I feel. And then another young lady picked up the book and was reading it. And her father was the one who got her to go into rehab. And she actually was able to overcome it, to live with it and whatever. And she said, I wonder if this is how my father felt. So I've been very pleased with some of the comments that have been given on the book.
And they're not comments I mean, the things that they are saying, that's exactly how I felt. That's not something you would personally know. That's something that you learned from your son, right?
Right.
And so it's making, how do you say that? It's reassuring that what the information is that's here is correct.
Yes.
Because the other people are feeling the same things. They're feeling the same way.
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
It's just, it's a very humbling thing, actually, to get the information and to begin to understand how we live and how we create.
And how we create addiction. That's I found that interesting in the book, that one of the things was, how do we create addiction? Because you almost feel like addiction's just something you can't help. You don't. I never thought I could create it.
I was in this program where many people, Steve Baldwin was on one of the programs too, Jack Canfield was, and it was all about addiction. And the thing that was so interesting to me was that many of them, it goes back to not feeling love. That Jay had that. He said, I knew you loved me, but I couldn't feel it. And he, and as some of the other authors of books also suggested, it's when you don't feel good about yourself, you want to feel high. I mean, we are a world and society of pleasure.
Yeah, so you want to find something that does make you feel good when you don't feel good about
and,
yourself.
I mean, we always look for pleasure, whether it's that candy bar, because most of us are addicted to sugar, by the way, and I am, I can tell you that. But, I mean, we want to feel good. We want that pleasure. I mean, whether it's shopping or eating or, you know, whatever it is.
Well, I find that in the world today, I think there's an awful lot of people with low self-esteem.
Yes.
There's an awful lot of people that don't like themselves, that hate themselves, that don't like the way they look, or they don't like the way they behave, or they don't like the way they grew up. And that's what I've got from this book, was that's a good base for starting this addiction problem.
Yeah. And, well, think of it. We give everyone a label. Oh, he's such a jerk. Oh, she's so dopey. Oh, she's, you know, fat. Now, especially, and we do this to children, even teasing them without realizing they can grab right onto that and own it. Because if you have somebody tell you something and you really believe it, all of a sudden you believe it and hear it enough, it becomes your truth. I am fat. That's all you can see and all you can, and that's not a good feeling.
No.
So you want to do something to make yourself feel better. And we, instead of escaping life through that, if we could learn and help kids, you know, really understand who they are, and it's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be.
Isn't that nice to know we don't have to be perfect? I think that only comes when we get to be older.
When we know we're not.
My guest is Joan Peck. She's the author of Prime Threat, Shattering the Power of Addiction. And this book is really an incredible book. And if you know anyone with an addiction, or you have anyone in your family that has one, certainly it's a book that you'd want to pick up and read and get to know more about. And Joan, what is your website? How can someone contact you?
It's www.bejeweled7.com. So it's BEJEWELED 7.com.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you.